This is a brand new LEGO city we've been building from scratch for the last 9 months. And these are 3 real-life disasters we've prepared that we're going to unleash on the city before the end of this video, to see if it can survive.
So today, we're going to try our hardest to build out the perfect working LEGO emergency rescue system to make the city absolutely disaster-proof.
I'll admit that, in hindsight, we totally underestimated how much money, time, and pain we'd end up spending on a problem that, ultimately, we'd created for ourselves. But let's start from the beginning. So the first thing we need to do to protect our city from disasters is build a state-of-the-art LEGO hospital.
The rules of our LEGO city are that 1. Everything has to be built from scratch, so no LEGO sets allowed. And 2. Everything has to work, like in a real city. No empty shells.
So the hospital has to actually work for our city people. Speaking of which, it's currently a nice sunny Saturday in the LEGO city. And Tommy is working on some new recipes for his bakery, but he's starting to get a terrible stomachache. And since it's the weekend, Ava is getting prepared to mountain bike down the steepest trail she's ever tried. But she forgot to eat her usual breakfast today.
So to prepare for what's coming, we're going to build a state-of-the-art LEGO hospital for Minifigs as a full-size custom LEGO modular building, starting with a base that's 32 LEGO studs by 32 LEGO studs.
And just in case we need to move the hospital around the city, we'll build in these modular attachment points and raise the whole base plate's height by 1 LEGO brick. This is often called LEGO mills.
We'll make this 22 LEGO studs wide, so we still have space for more stuff later in the video.
But here's where we encounter our first big problem. Some people who come to the hospital, like Luke, he broke his leg, won't be able to get themselves up and down stairs. So first, we need to build a working LEGO elevator.
Sounds pretty simple, right? But it's the perfect example of how deep LEGO goes. Even LEGO's official modular buildings don't have any real working elevators, so this might be a little tough.
But let's give it a shot for Luke. For our first attempt at an elevator, we tried to use circular LEGO Technic gears with linear LEGO steering rack gears. But this uses lots of parts, has a ton of friction, and is just kind of inelegant. Plus, if we wanted the controls to be accessible from the top of the building, we'd have to build a really bulky gear train.
Then, we tried using an official LEGO string to winch it up.
But that was kind of floppy. So we pivoted to using a chain drive mechanism, like in the LEGO roller coasters. But to make it stable, we needed a counterweight, which would be huge because we'd have to make it out of LEGO bricks. We were about to give up on finding the perfect elevator mechanism, but then we found out about a perfect new LEGO part from this LEGO City set, which was exactly what we needed for a compact elevator mechanism.
So now we can build the elevator we'd wanted. First, we use LEGO tiles to make a smooth floor for the elevator shaft, right above this Technic connection point. Now each of these big worm gear pieces is 6 LEGO studs long, so we can stack 4 of them to get one long smooth gear that's 24 studs high.
Then we can add this special LEGO brick that meshes with the worm gear. This is a perfect cube, 2 LEGO studs long, which is the same distance as 5 LEGO plates thick on each side. So after attaching the elevator platform, we can build a groove around the special brick to lock the elevator in so it only moves up and down. And on the roof, the whole mechanism is locked in with this LEGO bracket.
And let's get ready to test this out by smoothing out the first floor with LEGO tiles. By the way, if you want to follow along, we've made instructions for everything we're building at eggybricks.com. Check the description. But back to making the hospital actually work. In order to heal the Minifigs' injuries, we need to build out the best medical team we can.
Let's take us as an example. So let's say you have an ache in your arm that's been bothering you. First, you come in and you get triaged at the front desk by the triage nurse.
We'll make the front desk a medium nougat color with a little modernist curve and build a LEGO plant for extra oxygen, plus a phone so the triage nurse can hear about it if there's an emergency somewhere in the city.
And since your injury isn't too urgent, you can borrow some reading material, like this month's Blocks magazine. And go sit in the waiting area. Let's add ample seating here for everyone waiting. And get some art to stimulate some brains here too. From Vincent, our local painter.
Don't go anywhere though, because your ER nurse is about to come get you and take you into one of the patient rooms.
Wait, 1 second, we need to make some stickers.
And he'll hook you up to this monitor, using one of those little finger things that check your vital signs. You're doing great. But we're still missing something critical. If it's an emergency, we need to get the patient here faster. So we need to build an ambulance to pick people up when they're having a crisis.
So the hospital is right in the middle of the LEGO city. So to fetch anyone who needs help from the cinema or the observatory or places even further out, we need our ambulance team to go get them.
So an ambulance is basically just a miniature, very portable hospital. So first, we need to build a heavy-duty vehicle chassis that can carry the entire thing. So we'll start with a frame, made out of LEGO Technic pieces.
We want our vehicles to be a little more realistically designed than LEGO City vehicles usually are, but still cute and the right scale for minifigs. The kind of ambulance we're building is basically a high-powered van in the front. So we'll make the van part 6 LEGO studs wide, like all our city cars.
We'll shape the front of the ambulance, a little like the LEGO Speed Champions sets do, with LEGO slopes and curves, and using sideways building techniques. And we need a driver's seat, also built sideways, and a standard steering wheel.
The driver needs a big screen to see where they're going and when, plus some way to communicate with the hospital and any other emergency teams. And we'll use this LEGO roller skate piece to build the door handles.
Then we can add these big side mirrors that pivot for different drivers. And we'll build a special curved roof that can slide on and off easily, so we can pop the driver in whenever they need to drive.
But the back of the ambulance is where most of the action is. We need to fit an entire mini hospital in there, plus 2 paramedics, so we're making it 7 LEGO studs wide instead of 6 like the front. This way, it'll fit a bunch of medical equipment, but still be small enough to fit nicely on a LEGO road plate, which has 8 stud wide lanes.
And we'll use LEGO jumper plates to center the 7 stud wide box against the 6 stud wide front across the chassis. That looks good.
Aboard the ambulance, we have 5 critical parts. Storage compartments for the ambulance's main oxygen supply, medicine, and other critical things.
The most important part, the stretcher in the center, which carries the injured minifig. On the left side of the ambulance, there's a control panel to adjust the temperature and lighting.
And we have these 2 little machines, an iStat device for quick blood tests, and an ECG machine to monitor people's heart activity and shock any hearts back into rhythm. And on the other side, there's a monitor to track vital signs, and another oxygen tank in case someone needs help breathing.
And we have seats for both paramedics within arm's reach of the equipment and the patient. One medic goes in the captain's seat, facing backward, and one sits next to the patient. And there's this little side door for them over there.
So finally, we can build the big main rear doors, which we build to slide out smoothly using these LEGO hinge plates. And they snap back together with no gaps.
And because we need traffic to move out of the way for us, we need lights and sirens. So we'll add these LEGO transparent clear and red pieces. And we'll tile the top of the ambulance so it's smooth, with a break at the hinges so the rear door still operates well. And add a sleek roof that slides in satisfyingly. And equip it with beefy wheels, tires, and rims.
And we have to add these stickers so people can see the ambulance coming from afar. But most important is the ambulance's team. These 3 have been best friends since elementary school, so you can bet they'll outpace any other team.
And today, they're on their way to Tommy's house, to rush him to the hospital as fast as possible.
But the hospital's not ready yet. Before Tommy and the crew arrive, we need to build the front of the hospital. So let's get that done. I've spent a lot of time over my life in hospitals, so I know they can be a little depressing. So we want to make sure this one looks clean and like a fun place to go get healed.
So we'll add this arched doorway with a large LEGO arch. And we want this building to look good next to the official LEGO modular buildings. So we'll build it in a neo-Baroque style, stark but textured on the outside, like with this mini arch and cheese slope, promising lots of splendor inside.
We'll add some LEGO tiles sideways to add more depth, then build some powerful lights so the hospital stays bright.
And we can build these pedestals with LEGO slopes and scrolls, so that we can put these all-white LEGO minifigures on top, as statues. The one on the right is secretly a snowman. And this LEGO Bionicle piece can hang over the doorway, reminding us that we're sworn to protect all minifigs here.
And we'll add some pillars to help make this whole facade stable, since it's supporting our whole elevator shaft. And we'll use the red LEGO pieces we saved earlier on the last section of the building. We'll need this floor to save the city soon, so watch out for that. And we'll add some LEGO nozzle pieces to match what will be inside, and add a textured white arch to mirror the doorway below, so the whole facade is cohesive. And clip in some fire to match the theme.
And now, we can get back to Tommy, our baker, who's sick.
The triage nurse briefed the team on his case while he was still in the ambulance. Turns out he ate too many pastries. Told you his baking was good. He's going to need surgery, so he can go straight up the elevator to the second floor.
And into the operating room, where we can meet more of the hospital team. Our surgeon is the most meticulous minifig in the city. and our scrub nurse has been doing this for years.
First, we have to build a sink so everyone can wash their hands thoroughly. So we'll build the water and piping sideways and upside down. And we need an IV stand so that Tommy can get the right fluids delivered instantly. And as the team gets ready for surgery, we need to build a really bright, swiveling light so that they have maximum visual acuity.
And we'll build the stand for the surgical tools, using LEGO brackets, slopes, and clips. Plus, we need a cart for anesthesia, so Tommy can stay safe and out of pain. This is our anesthesiologist. He graduated top of his class.
And now it's time to start.
Meanwhile, there's been another accident. Ava biked down the stairs under total control, like she'd planned, but she forgot to check for people walking by. So she swerved at the last second, but lost her grip and fell. So she's just been ambulanced in too.
We're not sure if anything's broken, so we need x-rays. Which means we need to build a radiology room. And an x-ray machine that pivots to scan the patient with LEGO bars and clips. Luckily, our orthopedic surgeon does excellent work. She originally got into this specialty because people were always getting hurt at the soccer league she plays in. So she figured she'd save some time by treating them herself.
Great, no broken bones. We're just going to patch up her scratch, and she'll be good to go.
Tommy is safe downstairs recovering now too. So the team can relax in the break room we're building next to the OR. And we'll finish tiling the top of the walls so that the floor above it can easily come on and off, which is what makes LEGO buildings modular. And we'll build a little vending machine with LEGO brackets and headlight bricks. So that everyone at the hospital can have some tasty beverages. And talk about their hopes and dreams.
Which means we're done with the medical part of our emergency response system. So let's bring in a real emergency. Let's see if they have everything they need. It's time for the first disaster.
So, a troupe of traveling knights has just come to perform in Eggopolis, because it has everything they need for their medieval joust show. Some stone walls, grass, lots of carrots for their horses. And tonight's the big night. They'll have dinner and a jousting match, meaning two knights are going to charge at each other on horses.
And you can choose which knight you want to support.
Unfortunately, that's not going to work out, because tonight, the Black Falcon Knight's horse, Jimmy, has some anxiety. And instead of running toward the Lion Knight, he jumps over the barrier, all the way into the crowd.
So let's see how our brand new medical team performs in this situation. Can they save everyone in time?
First, someone at the scene calls the hospital. And Andy gets the call and radios the driver of the ambulance.
So the paramedics get there fast and start checking who needs to be treated.
First there's Clarissa. Turns out she's allergic to horses, so the paramedics give her some epinephrine, which reverses her symptoms right away.
And then there's Bill, who was so surprised that he swallowed a whole pretzel. But they got it out, and they're giving him some supplemental oxygen to get back to normal.
But then there's Andrew, who got hit in the head by one of the goblets. He's acting normal, but the paramedics rush him to the hospital to get a head x-ray. No bleed or fractures detected, but the team will monitor him for a few hours to see if anything develops.
but Arthur got the worst of it. He was so shocked by what happened that his heart started acting funny. So the paramedics rushed him to the hospital, and the team is handling it in surgery now.
Connie's bringing down some soda, because the knights from the joust want to make sure everyone's okay. So they're waiting downstairs with some pizza the fire chief brought. Luckily, there's enough blocks magazine for everyone.
Interesting sets.
After making it through all that, I think we can say the medical team passes the test.
But wait, is that smoke? We're going to need more than just a hospital. We need a real fire brigade.
Luckily, we previously built some fire hydrants into the roads here, so they put out this grass fire pretty fast.
So now that the fire's out and the knights are done with their joust, this area of the city can get cleaned up to get ready for the Robot Olympics that's happening this week.
So we need to build a fire station, in case the future disasters are worse. No, not that one. It needs to be custom. We'll build the fire station up here.
We need the fire station to be a comfortable and fun place for the firefighters to be on duty. So first, we need to handle their basic physiological needs, starting with some food and water in the refrigerator, which is built with LEGO snot bricks, headlight bricks, train and car doors, and tiles. And another sticker.
Does that look like milk to you? This is Mike. He's the fire chief. He's the one who makes sure the kitchen is always stocked with tasty snacks and the perfect tools. But he's also an excellent chef. And he makes the team homemade pizza twice a day when he can. And today, he's baking cookies from scratch.
But more than food, the most important thing the firefighters need is sleep. So let's build them a separate room that's quiet and doesn't smell like pizza. And let's build them some nice bunk beds that are sturdy enough that they don't disturb each other while sleeping, with 2 different kinds of curved slopes and telescope pieces, and a ladder to get up to the top bunk. And since it's quiet in there, we'll add a pretty serious alarm bell that goes off when the team needs to wake up and respond to an incident.
Meanwhile, the high school robotics team is working on the biggest project they've ever planned for the upcoming Olympics.
But aside from snacks, water, and sleep, the firefighters need some games of skill to compete at.
So we'll build them this 3-stud wide by 5-stud long pool table using headlight bricks to make sloped legs and LEGO snot bricks to tile the sides and top. Right now, John is the squad's first place pool player. But we're building this pool table to easily convert to table tennis, and he's not that great at that.
Remember, all of these instructions are at eggybricks.com. They come with stickers too, either as a digital sticker sheet for free, or as actual sticky physical stickers.
But the firefighters also need a place to just chill out. So let's build them a LEGO couch. And here we can slot in the ladder up to the roof, where we'll go soon. And here's where they store their helmets, so they can grab them on the way out. We tried to make these frogs, but the hats kept falling off. The roof has a helipad on it, so the team can fly a helicopter to drop water on fire, or to rescue any figs in danger.
Or the team can slide down the pole to ground level.
Which means it's probably time for disaster number 2.
And it's a race! A couple of the nearby schools built these cute mechanized little robots, which they're riding. But Ava's school has some resources built up because the last Olympics was cancelled. So they decided to use them to build a giant R2-D2. And they decided to build in real functions.
These are the judges who will assess speed, execution, and style. And the winner will get this cool, working pod racer as a prize. So Ava's team gets to a slow start, but then they take the lead. And one of their competitors decides to take a nap. But wait, it looks like they want to get some style points by showing off some functions just before the finish line. And, oh no, R2.
Luckily, the firefighters are on duty. John's just been practicing his forehand, so his reflexes are tuned. Marta and Dan just woke up, so they're well rested. Mike and Maggie just ate some spaghetti, so they're fully carb-loaded. So it's time to roll. Dan and Marta take the helicopter and drop water from above. Maggie and Mike hook up a hose and douse the fire with water from below. And together, they save both of the buildings that were burning.
But while that's happening, somebody's run away with the pod racer. And when the team looks a little closer, it's obvious that R2-D2 has been tampered with. Unfortunately, it seems like this whole incident was planned. But to solve this mystery, we need
a police station and some detectives. Good thing we left some space to build their office here.
So we need to leave a passageway on the first floor so the firefighters can still get out on their missions. And let's make this building all one color with textures too, like the building next door. So we need to go buy some more blue bricks before we can solve the mystery. And now that we have our supplies, we can finish this up and add a ladder.
And we'll build a cantilevered front with Lego slope pieces, which will prepare us for some interesting architecture on the next couple floors. We're going to need good lighting at all times of day.
And now we can build the police station itself. So first, we have the main entrance and the front desk where the officer on duty talks to citizens who come in with problems.
And here's the booking area, where the officer will take mugshots of the culprits once they catch them. With this fancy camera. They'll need a clock too, and another ladder to get up to the next floor.
But first, we need to add some windows, just enough to keep an eye on what's going on. So we'll build these bay windows using Lego hinge plates to angle them. And the whole angled assembly will rest on a Lego tile with studs piece, since the angled window studs aren't on the grid.
And so now we have to build the detective's office on the 3rd floor. This is where they're working on the Robot Olympics case. They can interview people, look through evidence, and try to string together hypotheses to explain strange occurrences. And they have an analog cassette recorder for fun.
And they've got everything they need to survive. Water, plus Mike next door just brought over some fresh pizza and cookies. When the detective realizes they have some video footage of the incident from somebody's automated plant pot.
Oh, it was Ava's little brother who broke R2-D2. He didn't mean to hurt anyone, he was just practicing for his soccer tryout.
But what happened to the pod racer? Oh, it's the ice cream crooks.
So we need to build some super fast police cars to catch up to the bad guys. Kevin's the fastest driver here, so we'll build his car first.
We're going to try making a fast classic American sports car, white and black, and we'll make its body seamless using, sideways Lego building techniques again. The half plate of this Lego bracket, plus 2 Lego plates, or 1 cheese slope, are the same width as 1 Lego stud.
This car is going to be kind of a cross between a Camaro and a Dodge Challenger. Modern, but with some muscle. And we're building it 6 Lego studs wide.
So the ambulance was fun, but boxy. So here we can really get sculpting, with more complicated Lego techniques to build the front. And this Lego pantograph piece will be the front grille. And what if we shape the rear by also building sideways?
And we'll add this back seat to transport any culprits. Plus, we need some side mirrors, and a windshield and siren.
And to seal it up, we use this Lego panel with a cheese slope on top tilting on a hinge brick in order to get the right angle and distance. And add some nice wheels and stickers, and it's done.
And these are made out of really common pieces that we already have lots of, so we'll just make 3 of them.
It's almost not fair how much faster these are than an ice cream truck.
But a much more complex and dangerous storm is brewing, right outside the city. And the citizens have no idea yet.
But just before we torture our citizens one more time, let me tell you a little bit about this channel. I'll try to go fast before our train comes. We don't take sponsors, and we buy all our own Lego pieces because we think that otherwise it'd be too easy to start making what advertisers want and not what's interesting for regular people. But we also spend kind of an insane amount of time on each one of our videos to try to make them something valuable for the community. So your support is 100% what keeps this channel going. So if you've been looking for a nice set of building instructions or stickers to curl up next to the fire with, please check out eggybricks.com. And if you're out of space for more Lego models, we also just started channel memberships, which we'll link in the description. Huge thanks to everyone who keeps this channel running. And now, back to the last disaster. Oh wait, our train's here.
So now that we've built out the full emergency services team, it's finally time for the ultimate disaster.
Eggopolis is surrounded by a dense railroad network, mostly for freight trains, but it also carries some passenger traffic. And all these trains are controlled from this traffic control tower by Boris, who's incidentally the winningest gravel cyclist west of Boulder.
But today, something's wrong with Boris, which means there's going to be something seriously wrong with the train network, and maybe the city.
The first sign that something's wrong is that the radio comms are jammed. And the second sign is going to show up any second now.
Luckily, there were no passengers in any of those trains. They're all for freight.
But there is a festive passenger train rolling into Eggopolis soon. And another passenger train is just leaving Eggopolis and coming toward it on the same track.
The only way we can save the city is for our emergency responders to work together as one team, fast!
So, first, Ollie and Kevin get eyes on Boris because he has the key to the puzzle. And after he tells them the secrets of manual train control, they get him to the hospital to figure out what happened to him.
And now that Boris is okay, Dan hops in the helicopter and the rest of the police team jumps into their cars. And they use all 3 vehicles to pull the Polar Express to a crawl.
Then Owen jumps onto the train and explains the situation to the engineers and gets them to hard stop the train just in time for the crash to be averted.
And now that everyone's safe, the firefighters and paramedics and doctors and nurses all work together to soothe and feed everyone on the train that's hurt or shocked or just shaken.
I guess this is why we have emergency services, so that the rest of the citizens can live their normal lives without worrying about what to do if the worst happens.
And